Hi, Elise, welcome.
I sign in.
How do you see the current proposed IMO regulations affecting the industry in terms of compliance, operations, and costs?
Yeah, thank you for the question. So, in April of this year, the International Maritime Organization, or the IMO, agreed, but not yet fully approved, to a net zero framework that aims to be the actionable, legally binding steps to achieve our 2023 revised strategy goal. That's to reach net zero emissions by or around 2050. However, the framework also left some significant uncertainties that myself and other researchers are still trying to unpack. First, the framework sets a direction towards net zero by 2050, but many details remain undecided, particularly around how fuels will be assessed, such as the guidelines for life cycle analysis for a fuel, or I'll be using the term LCA. Until these are updated, LCA guidelines are that will be further developed. There will be headaches for ship owners and fuel suppliers as they try to plan investments in fuels that may or may not qualify under the final rules. One shining moment of the framework is that a definition for zero or near zero fuels was established, a standard that identifies the creme de la creme of fuels that could be potentially receive financial incentives, but it's still unclear what the actual reward for these fuels will be, leaving still a lot of uncertainty for investors. Operationally, I can see ship owners leveraging the annual greenhouse gas fuel intensity calculation, or the standard that was defined, to their advantage, blending or using different fuels to just meet the required thresholds for each year. For example, a ship might blend in fuels or use dual fuel engines that can switch between different types of fuels. While this flexibility might help with compliance in the short term, I worry it could incentivize the use of unsustainable crop-based biofuels and fuels that might technically meet a zero or near zero definition, but have significant land use and social impacts. On the compliance note, port state control will be the primary method of inspection, but that raises some bigger questions, especially when given the current political climate. For instance, the US was notably absent in April when the framework was agreed upon. Even though the US is a signatory to MARPOL Annex 6, the treaty that addresses shipping pollution, their absence and ongoing tariff tensions make me wonder how port state control in the US will handle the implementation of this framework. So overall, while this agreement is definitely a step in the right direction, it's ultimately the product of a multilateral compromise, and it's leaving key gaps that still need to be addressed before implementation in 2028. The next few years will be critical to finalize the details, ensure consistent enforcement, and provide ship owners with the clarity and certainty they need to invest confidently in compliance and operational transitions. If we get this right, the agreement could be really, truly driving decarbonization, in which we're all aiming for in the sector. And yeah, thank you so much, Diane, for having me.